Hey guys, so all we're going to really go over today is planners. And I'm doing this partly because a friend of mine on DeviantArt and got me into basically watching a lot of organization videos on YouTube when we started talking about planners. And I do mine really differently than a lot of people do. I don't use Filofax, I don't use any of the fancy things. All I've got here is just a standard daily planner from Blue Sky, the Color of Imagination. I have used Mead before, I do like their products, but this one, either I found it for a better deal or something like that. It goes from January to December of the year, so it is just my 12-month. I do have a smaller one down here, but that's just because I'm going to show how explain how I do the dates like that, because I already have the month filled out here and I'm not really going to show that one off. I really do like this because it does have tabbed months and each week is even tabbed, so that gets a little confusing for me at times. But I come in, I'm just covering my address. It's got the full calendar for the current year and the year to come. It's got, contact pages, notes pages, all that sort of thing. Right here is just what the daily view looks like. I'm sorry, I know the camera angle's not the best and the lighting is probably really crappy. But you can see here's Friday, June 6th. And all I do is I take just a standard pen. This happens to be a Pentel Energel. It's a new one I picked up over at Staples. And this type of planner, I find them at Walmart. The smaller one here is just one of those 2-year, really tiny things. And that was given to me as a gift this past year. And it has actually come in pretty handy. When it comes to my month view, all I do is I write down my hours for the day. If I'm doing NaNoWriMo, which I always do in November, I write down the daily word count and goals so I can meet my 50K. And what I usually do with some of my planners, like last November in my planner, I took every day. So like right here I would have had in red written the goal for the day. And then beside that or somewhere on my daily area, I would write my goal or what I hit that day, what my final word count was that I entered in on the NaNoWriMo website. So that really helped me keep track and figure out what I was doing with it. Now all I do, since I basically just use this for home and work, it's really simple. I don't have school right now and I'm trying to figure out how am I going to reorganize everything when I go back to school, because I only want to keep one planner with everything in it and it'll make it much simpler for me. And all I really do is take the day, mark it about halfway down, and I use the top half for work and the bottom half for home. And there are things, usually it reads the same thing every day for my home portion, such as, read a chapter. I do have to get plotting done, and I will shorten my titles, so instead of doing like because I stayed, because I left, it was BIS, BIL. With this one, it's, because Betrayed by You was the title. So there's that. And then I also have shopping that I do on Fridays, because I go shopping with my mother. And that's really all the more I think I need to have down for Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I'll fill those out later. But that's all the more I really have to it. I do have different pens that I use throughout the year and time. And some of my favorites, if I can avoid flinging them everywhere on my desk, are Staedtlers. They are a very, very common thing for me. And yes, I keep them in a particular order. This just happens to be the Triplus roller. It's their roller ball. So it's essentially it's their ballpoint pen. I really, really love them. I also have the Triplus 20 marker set. It's a Faser Mahler fiber tip pen. And yeah, it's like a fiber tip pen essentially, I guess. Staedtler is a German company, and I really do respect them for that. I'm not anti anything outside the US. I am pro anything that is stationary and well done. Liquid Point, they are 0.4 on size. And like I said, I really love these. When they work really well, they're fantabulous. The plastic cases with the triplets roller and the fiber markers, they end up fanning out into a really nice little stand. And it's easy enough to fold up when it cooperates. And a lot of times they will still keep that on the back. You can take that off really, really easily. Or you can pop it back on, so if you want to hang them up. I usually just keep these on my desk, so it's not an issue for me. It's more or less just a really moot point. And the other ones by Staedtler that I have, they're pigment liners, which are great for artwork if you're doing line work. And the 4-pack comes with 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, and 0.7. I know it's probably really hard to read there. And they do have a 6-pack of these that does cost more. And it has a couple of other sizes too. I can never remember what they are without looking at the package. And it drives me insane because I've had a couple of packages of them. But my favorites have got to be the Triplus Fine Liners. They're 0.3 in size, and they're essentially just like the pigment liners. Only it's bright and colorful. I do like colors for different things, but I do not use varying colors in my planner. I'm just really weird about that. Yes, I have like the word count goals for NaNoWriMo I will do in red, but that's a totally another thing because it is a deadline, essentially. And I will hopefully talk more about the NaNoWriMo information as it gets closer to that. I'm doing these every other week, so hopefully sometime in October I'll have a good post about what NaNoWriMo is and what's coming with it. But for now, I shall bid you farewell. Until next time, guys, if you have any comments, questions, any of that, leave them in the comment section below or off to the side or wherever it's at this point. Or contact me via any of the contact information that I do have on the About Me page. Have fun!